Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another storage closet session. My name is Kiki, and the Tyler the Creator situation is crazy. It's crazy. The real reason why it's crazy is because I feel like this happens like every 3 to 4 years, where people's just like, "Oh my gosh, Tyler was a," and then we got to go through all that shit again, and then nothing ever happens to him. But I do feel like the reason I really want to talk about this is because I feel like there was a secondary discussion that was sparked by um this Tyler Crater situation that I actually want to ask y'all about and get your opinion on, because I'm very curious about what people think about this. Okay, so let's talk about how this all started. Okay, D'Angelo passed away. Oh my gosh, y'all, sad. He kind of went through the same thing that Chadwick Boseman did, where he wasn't telling people that anything was wrong with him, and then he passed away. It felt like he was out of nowhere, and it's a very unfortunate situation. There were a lot of people in the music industry that were mourning, including Tyler the Creator. He was also in mourning, and he decided to express what was going on, how he felt on his Twitter. And for some strange reason, a lot of his fan base, who do happen to be Neanderthal descendants, were oh my god, when are you dropping the next music video? Where's the deluxe edition? Boy, what is this, some lyrics? Or they was doing that kind of thing, where it's like, first of all, Tyler Creator literally just dropped. Like, he dropped in November, and then again like 2 months ago. Chill out, okay? But because this was going on, um his black fans were like, wow, Tyler the Creator's white fans are just like so inconsiderate. They just don't understand black culture at all. They don't understand the significance of this passing, and all kinds of stuff like that. And then it seemed like, you know, people was kind of understanding, like, just being upset about the response of Tyler's white fans to him mourning the passing of D'Angelo. And then it was all fine until Tyler himself liked a tweet that called out his white fans that do not engage with black music outside of Tyler, okay? I'm gonna put the tweet that he had liked somewhere on the screen. I actually think that after, because I can't remember who the original poster was, but I do think that after this tweet started going viral, they had privated their account because they were just getting too much negative attention. So, because he had liked this tweet, suddenly his black fans was like, hold up, I know we was just defending you, but we need to talk about why your fan base is like this, okay? So then they started going through all of his old tweets, and there were some pictures of him doing whiteface and doing a, that's that thing, the salute. um there was also pictures of him dressed like a KKK member. Um, he said he hated the black guy from Victorious, which is Leon Thomas. Strangely enough, he did delete that tweet. Out of all the tweets that were resurfacing, he did delete that one because I think we know why. So, because Tyler was being dragged, suddenly now Doja Cat is getting dragged. And then because Doja Cat is getting dragged, suddenly Childish Gambino is getting dragged. And then everybody, all these rappers that had very anti-black and past are suddenly being dragged for their anti-black and ways. And so, this is the funny thing, right? Is that I find it interesting that like Tyler was able to come to the realization that, like, oh, I actually don't want to have a primarily white fan base. I wonder if Doja is ever going to come to that realization. I'm surprised that she didn't come to that realization after they after all her fans was calling her hair. They said her hair looked like pubic hair. I thought that she would have turned on them then, but I guess she ain't got to that phase yet, and that bitch almost 30, so I don't know if she ever gonna get there. I pray for her though. I do pray for her. I pray that she gonna get there. But it seemed like she's still catering to them. Maybe since this album flopped, she gonna change her mind. But I do want to start two discussions, okay? One of them is, why do white people love artists that hate their white fans? I feel like in terms of like the ones like these, like a Tyler or a Doja or a Childish Gambino, because they've expressed like so much anti-blackness in their history, that I feel like it's one thing when white people don't take black culture seriously. It's another thing when black people don't take black culture seriously. So I think that they see people like this and then they're like, "Oh my god, they are they're totally confirming my feelings about these people." You know, it's they're validating the feelings that I already had. And it's one thing when it comes from a white person that's racist, but how can black people be racist against black people? I feel like that's one of the facets of like why white people love artists like these. Another one is probably because they use very, like the sounds that black people typically use in their music, these people don't. So I think it's another thing that it's like, oh, like I still feel like this attachment to this thing that's cool, which is blackness, but it's being catered to me. Those are the two reasons why I think that white people love people like Tyler. Now, the other discussion that I thought was interesting was, is it okay to get to the top as long as you become pro black later? So, I feel like Tyler is, working through, or has worked through, I don't know, whatever issues he had with himself in the past, okay? And I feel like it's one thing when it's like a character, it's another thing when it's genuine. Because Tyler the Creator, first of all, is not from the suburbs. Tyler the Creator is not from the suburbs. I'm pretty sure he grew up in a predominantly black area. And my presumption is that he felt outcasted for being an all black person in a predominantly black area. Now, as somebody who's been on both sides of the fence, as in been in predominantly non-black communities and been in predominantly black communities growing up, and being an alt-black kid, I love Breaking Benjamin, I love Dance Gavin Dance, Phoenix, Two Door Cinema Club, Vampire Weekend. I don't think that there was ever a time when I was like, racism is totally cool and okay. I don't feel like there was ever a time when I felt like that. Where I was like, you know what, white friend, you can say the N word. It's not gonna bother me because this is how we solve racism: is we let white people say the N word. I don't think that I ever had a phase in my life where where I felt like that. So I don't know if it was like lashing out, or like, oh my god, they're not going to accept me for me, so I'm gonna just cater to white people. I don't know. But I do think that the feelings of all three of these people, by the way, Tyler, Doja, and Childish Gambino, Donald Glover, is all genuine feelings. I don't think it's no character. I think that they genuinely feel like hate, like self-hatred in their hearts. Which, like, by the way, I'm so glad that Childish Gambino be getting dragged right now, because I can't stand him. I never liked him. I don't like his music. I don't like him as a person. I think he's anti-black as hell. I don't think he ever worked through that shit. Um, I don't know. Even Atlanta, like, it's a cool show, but it's like definitely some moments in there where you can really see that that coming through. And I don't know. It's just so many things about Donald Glover that rubbed me the wrong way. So I'm glad that he's getting dragged by his uneven hairline. But okay, is it okay to get to the top as long as you become pro black leader? Now here's the thing. Because the industry loves people that, but I also feel like it's plenty of people that made it that did not. So, I mean, one of Tyler's good friends make it that way. I don't know. Me personally, the answer is no. But I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on it about whether or not y'all think that it's okay to, as long as you become pro black later. But then there's also people that never become pro black later. But me personally, my personal opinion is no, because and also another thing is I feel like Tyler has to just accept that that's what he did to get his fans, and then those people never went away. Those are He came out as an Eminem clone. White people love Eminem, especially, he came out doing like relapse type stuff. So I don't think it's crazy that he built the fan base that he did. And I think that he's always going to have to deal with that. And then the other thing is, it seems like all three of these people try to just like act like they didn't do the things that they did. And I feel like that's another reason why people keep on bringing it up, is because there's not any sort of like concise place that you can go to where they just like blatantly address the stuff that they said and then be like, yeah, that was kind of like, you don't even have to do no like sit down, white t-shirt, sit on the floor of your fucking house or whatever, and be like, in the past I've said some things that were really messed up, and I just want you guys to forgive me. You don't have to forgive me, but you don't have to do all that shit, okay? I just think that like it's not that crazy to be like, to just own it and just be like, yeah, but I don't feel that way no more. Like, oh yeah, I definitely used to just be saying the N word with the hard R, but I don't feel that way no more. Like, yeah, I definitely wore a Nazi on a t-shirt, but I don't really think that guy. Like, I thought that he was funny at the time, but like now that I know the type of person he is, I don't support that shit at all. It's really not that hard to do that. It's really not that hard to be like, yeah, I don't think that white people should say the N-word. I don't think that like, yeah, I was selling, what was it? Blackface hats. I think Tyler was selling blackface hats for Odd Future. Yeah, like that was messed up, okay? I feel like he tries to address it in his music, but the way that he addresses it in his music is basically just like, who cares? That's literally like the way that he addresses it. It's just like, who cares? It's not that big of a deal. And that's the same thing that Doja said when she had wore that Nazi on her shirt. I just wore a shirt that I with somebody that I thought was funny on it. Like, nobody got hurt. It's not that serious. That's dead ass what she said. I'm not even kidding you. You can watch the Ebro interview. She dead ass basically said, nobody cares. It's not that serious. Wearing a freaking Nazi on a shirt. So I feel like because these people don't ever just like sit down. Not They don't even have to sit down, but just somewhere. Just be like, yeah, I don't agree with that no more. Yeah, I definitely said that. And that was definitely fucked up. And I definitely don't think that no more. I feel like until that happens, they're gonna have to deal with like weird white people following them around forever. Forever. They're always gonna have those weird white people, because unless those weird white people are still gonna have in the back of their minds, like, oh, they must still think that way if they don't care, or they think it's not that serious if they don't address it. I literally saw like a video of Tyler like doing a chromocopia performance, and he was like, everybody out there trying to pull up my old tweets, like, go listen to Tron Cat, go listen to Tron Cat on my old music. Like, he really don't give a shit. So I'm sure that he's okay. If he really don't give a shit like that, then I'm sure that this is not going to affect him, and I'm sure that this is not bothering him, and he's just like acting like, I don't even see that shit. He been calling white people sun dodgers. I genuinely think this is gonna blow over. Everybody's gonna move on. Nobody's gonna care. He's gonna keep on selling records and getting deals, and everybody's gonna move on. And then in 2-3 years, he's gonna talk about this shit, or all this shit is gonna come up again, and it's gonna keep on coming up until it's blatantly addressed. Like, yeah, that was fucked up. I was just a different kid. Okay, look, I was anti-black. I hated myself. I didn't understand myself. Da 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 da. I don't agree with that shit no more. That shit was not funny. Boom. That's it. And I feel like a lot of things would be remedied if these people that keep on trying to bury these skeletons in their closets, just let them out. Take them out the closet, put them in the ground. Okay, give them a nice little tombstone. and everybody can move on peacefully. We can say a prayer, spread the ashes into the ocean, and move on. So tell me what you think about Tyler the Creator situation. Is it crazy? Do you think that he's ever, going any of these people really? Do you think that any of these people deserve this? Do you think that any of these people are ever going to address this? Do you think that Doja and Donald are ever going to be anti-black? I mean, pro-black? Do you ever think they're ever going to be pro-black? I don't know, but we'll have to see. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that I will catch you on the next video. And as always, you are beautiful. You're cute. You're very cute today and tomorrow and yesterday. And thank you for watching, y'all. Bye.
Rape a pregnant bitch and tell my friends I had a threesome. You got a fucking death wish, I'm a genie, it'll get done.